Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Sorry, I was writing something.
Hey,
How are
me
you
too.
doing today? Oh yeah,
So good.
you look like you're
Yes, I'm
ready
doing
for
great.
business.
I am. I'm like business ready today. I have
Yes.
business
Yeah,
cleavage.
business cleavage. Yes. And I have
Mhm.
basic cleavage, let's say. You know.
Um, I think my husband and probably all men in general would say there's room for both, so it's all good.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony's always sharing funny memes with me where they're like, my wife's boob the first time I see it. Ah, the wife's boob the millionth time I see it. Ah. Or just the ones where it's um so a girl with like really like the itty bitty titty committee and then like gigantic boobs and it's like yay boobs like there's like sure there's
hmm
some preferences but they
Once
still
again, there's room for both.
yeah. Anyways, um so yeah, how was your week?
Good. It was
Good.
good.
Nothing
Um,
eventful?
it was crazy. Can I tell you a
Oh
funny story?
yeah, please.
Yeah. Can I? Okay. So we went for a family reunion up to the lodge and we're like,
Yeah,
hanging out. It was supposed to be quite relaxing, right?
yeah, that's why
Okay.
I haven't seen you for like 2 weeks.
Right. It was quite long. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say dates and they're probably wrong. But anyway, like
Doesn't matter.
Saturday morning, my daughter, who was staying the night at my house that was 4 hours away from the lodge,
Hmm.
she calls at 6:30 in the morning and she says, I have locked myself out of our house.
Oh no.
It's like locked like a fortress, and she's like, all of my stuff is inside. All my homework that's due in just a few hours, because that's why she was staying there, was so she could finish her homework and then come up.
Okay.
Okay. So we had to call a locksmith at 6:30 in the morning to come get her out. And so that was fun. And then later on, when she was driving to the lodge,
Hmm.
right at the hour-long part where we have no cell service, she hit a rock and blew her tire out.
Oh no.
Yeah. So she had to hitchhike to where we were.
Oh my God. So
Right?
she did. I didn't think our kids were going to experience some of the things that we experienced, but
Oh,
here
they did.
she is
There was
hitchhiking, just like,
It was a cute little old couple that stopped and picked her
oh,
up. So
yay. Do
yeah,
you remember who picked
right?
us up when we had a flat tire without, any means of in the middle of the night, basically? And weren't we
Who?
coming back from disco skating? You and I.
I
We rode in
explain.
that. We rode in the hatchback of
Do you
like a
remember?
young
I just
married
spit.
couple from BYU.
Yep.
Thankfully, like
Yep.
we felt pretty good about it, but also we could have
Could have
been,
been bad.
bullied and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. But thankfully, they just took us to a gas station and we called. But I'm like, there wasn't. What else were we supposed to do? It
Yeah.
was
There's your choices are limited at that point.
yeah,
My
and
daughter could have like hiked the 30 miles plus through the mountains to come
yeah,
find me, but
she
that's
had to do the best with what she had, and she did pretty good. She made a good choice in getting with old people. I guess I don't know. It's
yeah.
scary, but sometimes what are you gonna do? And
Yeah.
I
I
think
was relieved when I saw her and I was like, welcome
like
back. You didn't get trafficked or anything. I'm so proud of you.
yes, but also terrifying. Yeah,
Yeah.
God
Okay.
for a
So
happy ending.
yeah. And so, but of course it's Saturday night and
It doesn't stop there. Okay.
there's no, it doesn't. There's no like tire stores open on Saturday or Sunday, and we had to get back Sunday, right?
Hmm.
So we did a lot of back and forthing through the mountains to the only tire place we found open that's like, oh no, we're booked out for 2 weeks. There's no way.
Yeah.
And so my wonderful husband was like, oh, there's a way. And there was a way. And we got the tire fixed.
Well, the
And
the fact
then,
that he knows tires so well, I'm
yeah,
sure, but boded well for you
yep.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he went in there and he looked at the tires and he's like, that's the one I need. We're gonna put it on and we're gonna put it on right now. And they did. So,
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's watching this and
and
doesn't know, Cody used to run a tire shop. Like they
yeah, he
owned and
did.
operated and then sold a tire shop and did very well.
He's a car guy. He does good things.
He does.
And then we had Cody's grandparents with us, and when we got to their house, they couldn't find their keys.
Oh,
So it's like nighttime. It's been a long day, like a long
yeah.
day. And they couldn't find their keys, so I had to break in their house through the window, and it was a little bit of an ordeal.
So you
And
got to be the locksmith yourself
I
ish.
did. I did. I MacGyvered myself right through that window. And then on the way home, my daughter was like getting pissed. She's like, "This has been the worst day, guys. Like, I just don't want to be dragged around anymore. This is awful." And right as she said that, Cody's grandma called and she's like, "It looks like one of the bags that came in with us isn't ours." And it was the daughter's who was pissed off. And she's like, "Really?"
Please tell me it wasn't her homework.
No, but it was like her
Okay.
clothes. We went back for it. We were only like 10 minutes away, but still
Okay. It was just one more thing.
it
That's
was a
funny though.
long day. Like
It was a long day,
anyway.
but everything worked out. So now you can look
Yeah,
back and
nobody
say,
died.
be
Nobody.
grateful for the mishaps you have in your life because I don't know
Mhm.
if you looked at the world right now, but it's in a pretty awful
Yeah.
state. So
I think
that
there's a lot of
sucks.
people that would take that day over,
Yeah,
having their
yeah,
house bombed or something. So, yes.
exactly.
Agreed. That may be like petty or
No, but
silly or
also
whatever, but
it was more entertaining than anything. It was
right.
just, the
It's
comedy in
like
it, the
right. It just by the end we just kept laughing. Like when stuff went wrong, we're like, really? Really?
I think that that's what my family has always done is laugh. It's just that the some of the stuff that's happened to us has been truly kind of like
Chaotic
horrific,
and
chaotic,
yeah.
but we're still laughing. So people from the outside are like, "What are you do?"
What are you
Like
doing?
you look
What?
crazy. Why in the hell is this making you laugh right now? But like we
That's all you can do. Like, what am I
and
supposed to do? Cry
I
about
hope
it? That's
I
like,
hope a lot more people do that and laugh at their own situations because sometimes it is just like laughably bad.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But I totally forgot about that until you asked how my week was. So yeah, it was good.
Oh, and I hadn't even I was a bad friend anyways. I didn't even ask how you were because I was so mad that you ditched me. Just kidding.
Sorry.
I'm
It's
just
okay.
kidding. I was
You know
so
what?
busy, so
If I'd have
busy.
podcasted, none of that would have happened.
Do you have any good pictures of any of this? Like, did you document at
I
all?
I should have, and no, I didn't. I definitely should have.
Well, I wouldn't
It
have
would
had
have
time to
been
be
great.
podcasting anyways, and I would have been
Yeah.
squeezing it in and stressed because it was the homecoming game and
Oh,
they were
fun.
performing the pre-show. And then the next day was
Nice.
homecoming. And she and her bestie Amy went together with
Fun.
Amy's twin brother CJ and his girlfriend, and they just looked so cute and princessy and adorable. And
Oh,
like they did
yay.
all the fun things, like Amy, we went and got the girls' nails done in the morning, me and Amy's mom, and then we came back
Fun.
to our house and like made pancakes, and her mom brought like strawberries and things like that and whipped cream. And so we did that, and they both gave each
Yum.
other flowers, and we made them corsages, homemade corsages, and then did hair and makeup. So we just like, I don't know, it was just such a great day, and I was like, it was so
How
fun. So, but
fun.
I do have like pictures and stuff, and they just looked so cute, and they had a good time too. So
Oh,
all's
well,
well.
feel free to insert pictures here because if you want,
Yeah, yeah.
if
So
Bella
you can
wants.
see. Oh, I'll ask Bella, but
Yeah.
I think so. She knows they're so dang cute. They're adorbs.
Right.
And
Oh, fun.
another cute thing that happened was like one of the pictures that we took was like Amy and Bella, and it was cute. They wanted to take one where they were like forehead to forehead, and it's just like a really sweet
Oh,
picture. And so then Elena wanted to do it. She wanted to recreate it with Bella, so I have that picture too.
oh, I
And they were
love
in
it.
the car like at night, so it's not the best quality, but it was so cute.
That's
Anyways,
okay.
so yeah.
Quality mattereth not.
Yeah. So I forgive you for, and I
Thank you.
also I'm sorry that you that's such a rough one. But
We lived. We're good.
yeah, you lived and it made me laugh. So thanks for sharing. All
It was a
right.
lot.
Okay, so for the podcast topic, Emily is letting me just kind of choose, and it's
Yeah.
really coming from a place of like super duper ignorance, I guess, because like
Okay.
I haven't been learning about this for a long time. I'm just paying attention to it now, which is embarrassing in some ways, well, in a lot of ways, because I've
Everybody
been,
has to start somewhere.
I guess, right? But I've been seeing things for a long time, like Free Palestine or Palestine. I'm not sure the right way to say it. Like
Palestine.
I've seen it in passing, but haven't like done any research to see why people were saying that. And it's like for how much I'm like, everybody's freaking human. Like, why are we doing this? Like
Mhm.
I just wish I'd paid more attention, because now that I'm learning about what's going on and I'm trying to figure it out basically because like I said, coming from a complete place of ignorance with this whole conflict between Israel and Palestine. Did
Hmm.
you, I don't know, I just really told Emily yesterday, like, hey, I kind of want to talk this out and just try to see if like what I'm seeing matches like the type of things that she's seeing, because I do know that there's so many different like news sources. And so it's like, is the picture that I'm painting with the story that I know sound like what you know? Because like there's definitely some thoughts I have about it if it is, but I also want to be correct where it's not. You know what I mean? Because I don't know
Yeah.
that I'm getting the full story. And I don't know that we're the best
Well,
people to even be asking, but you're who I have to talk about with this. So
you know what? No, you know what though? It affects these kind of things affect all of us, no matter how much you know about it.
yeah.
I mean, they're they're part of our everyday lives. So
Yeah.
how even if we only know a little bit,
Yeah. I think it's better
you
than
can share
putting
what you know.
our head in the sand. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because that's like a place of privilege that I don't want to exist anymore, where I can just
You
put my
don't want
head
to
in the
pretend that
sand
people
and
aren't being
pretend that
bummed right now.
exactly. I don't want to just pretend so that my life can feel better. Like that just doesn't
Exactly.
feel good. So,
No.
anyways.
And I'm gonna reach over and turn on this heater really fast because I'm shaking like a chihuahua. It's
Oh
not
my
even that
God.
cold.
I was gonna say, what's the temperature like there? Because
It was like in the 30s last night. It was cold.
gross. We had a cold
I
front and we
know.
were like in the
I know.
70s. No,
Oh, you
I
poor
think,
thing.
I
This is me
know.
feeling bad for you.
I think in the mornings when like we were getting up, the coolest it was somewhere in the 60s. I think that's what ours was registering. But it really felt nice. Like we needed a reprieve, I guess, and I feel like there a lot of nice stories from this last week. If something bad happened, it's not at the top of my mind right now.
Yeah.
The closest thing I could think of are server related stories, and I want to save them for when we do our server podcast, because there's just a lot of funny interactions and rude interactions that
Okay.
happen there. But I want to save those stories, so that's what I got.
Okay. All right. Well, as far as war goes, do you want to give me just an overview of
Okay,
what's
of what the picture that I've seen painted is?
yeah, give
Okay,
me your picture.
so um again, something else I've been hearing, I've heard the Free Palestine, but then recently, with all the stuff I've been hearing, people saying that Palestine is an open air prison. Have you heard that?
I have not heard it described like that, but
Okay. See, I heard that
anyway.
first before I like really like learned about it. So now that I've kind of learned about it, I feel like I understand what they're saying is that Palestine doesn't have like its own sovereignty. Like it doesn't get to control itself. They are not allowed to have an airport. They're not allowed to have like ports to like decide what's coming in and out. They don't even get representation, I don't think, in voting. So it's been like um people are relating it to another thing that I am completely ignorant about, but still trying to learn about, is like the apartheid in Africa, where there
Mhm.
was literally like different classes of people. So right now,
Yeah.
the people in Palestine are kind of like second class citizens and they don't they're not subjected to the same set of rules and rights as everybody else, essentially, and they don't have you know a way to represent themselves, and it's just a shitty place to be in. So it's like an open air prison because they don't have freedom to just in and out, and I don't know, just really
Yeah.
not a cool thing that's been being inflicted on them by, let's say, Israel, like in the way that they're controlling them because they don't think exactly like they do, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that
I'm
some
yeah, I have very limited knowledge
that's okay. I
on
know
the
I just
conflict.
kind of
So
sprung this on you. Um,
that's okay.
but like that doesn't sound good, right? Like that's obviously
No.
bad.
Hmm.
So what started this most recent conflict, I guess, to my knowledge, is that Hamas, who is, I guess, a terrorist group or a group of extremists from Palestine, who like paraglided in, like skydived in, and like just started attacking. So horrible. Like there's never a time or a place for that type thing,
No.
because you're just killing without, regard to human life. And so that Hamas, bad. But
Hmm.
Israel, like it feels like that maybe they backed Palestine into a corner to where people got mad enough that they did have to form a resistance and that they're doing it in the wrong way, but what option do you give them? Especially as I learned that that Palestine, like their half of their population is children because the quality of life and the life expectancy is so low there and they don't have access to things. They're literally like they're human beings and they are being treated like they're literally not by Israel. So as bad as it is what Hamas did and should be, condemned because it's like, no, you can't just kill people, but also Israel, like what option have you given them? And right now Israel is like withholding goods and services and essentials from the people of Palestine, saying if you don't release the prisoners of war essentially that you have, if you don't release them back, then we're not going to release this. However, if they give back the prisoners that they've taken now at this point, what has happened for Palestine? Palestine is literally still an open air prison, and the only people who were crazy enough to go and like do that, because I think you almost have to be losing your mind to do that kind of stuff to other humans, in my opinion. Like they're the extremists, the ones that have gone crazy, but gone crazy in a prison of Israel's design.
Well,
That makes sense.
It does. It does. Israel and Palestine, that whole area, and clearly I'm an expert on this, but
that's why I came to you today.
They have been fighting since the dawn of time. I mean, I think as far back as we have records, they've been at each other's throats. And that's probably wrong. There's probably some like anthropologist that's like, actually, you're wrong.
At each other's throats. However, if Palestine is literally at the mercy of them, in what way can they?
I know.
Like, what do they have to do? Or that's the way it's been for quite some time, obviously. Yeah.
I am not I'm really neither a supporter.
Yeah.
Just because
I just gotta shut up and listen for a minute.
No, there's not much to listen to. It's just they're two people that hate each other. I mean, they've found reasons to fight each other. Most of them religious reasons to just be at each other's throats over and over and over. The thing that drives me bananas, and it's not just with Israel and Palestine, but it's with the entire world. Mm-hmm. We as a civilized society have moved beyond where that type of war should be a thing. Agreed. It is so barbaric, so stupid. You're sending civilians in to kill other civilians who have no, they're not the ones making these decisions. They're not the ones in charge of anything. They're not in charge of anything. It's just civilians killing civilians while you have the people at the top having a pissing match over, how many people can we afford to lose, right?
Yes. Seriously.
Like how many?
Hold on a second, baby.
It's like throw all of the leaders into a room, give them a tape measure, and see who's got the biggest dick. I mean, yeah. Sorry,
no, it's she can't hear you because
I don't think she can hear you.
It's definitely it's the leader's issue, but they're using people as pawns. Yes, but here's another.
Okay.
Hey, go with Daddy for a minute, okay? And then you can come in and talk in a bit. Love you.
Sorry. I don't need to get my knickers in a twist either. No, I can talk like a calm human being.
Your knickers in a twist. Get them knickers out of there. I mean, just kidding. No, I like that because I get that way so much. And I feel like sometimes it's only me. I'm like, why aren't you guys more upset about this? Like, we deserve to be upset about this. And like, without being upset, nothing's going to change. Happily say, like,
nothing's going to change with me being upset either.
But well, what's going to change is that we're saying it out loud, and hopefully somebody else is going to listen and be like, you know what? Yeah, that does make me mad. And I should be saying, hold on. And I think a lot of people really are, because I've seen so much of this type of talk of everybody just being like, we should be past this. Like, and the people who are dying are just innocent, like civilians, basically.
Civilians.
Granted, obviously, Hamas, whatever, they are a faction of, like, I don't know if Palestine has any type of government, if they were under any, I don't know. I just am so ignorant to all of that. So I don't know.
Mostly religiously based.
So, yeah. But it just, overall, the problems do tend to come from religion and uphold what I keep saying, which sounds so rude, but just really, I really feel that like religions are what's holding us back. as like a people because we're using it, we're weaponizing it, we're using it like against other humans, and we're all saying it's for like the better and for like creating the whole this good and this moral thing. And I'm like, with killing, like in what
Hmm.
way? And make this make any type
Make
of
it make sense.
actual sense. You can only believe it if you believe it. You know, if you can just like,
I'm o-
ugh,
I'm
like
even
make
okay with people having deeply held beliefs, but
shoot, but I'm
gosh,
not okay with people
damn.
having deeply held beliefs that allow them to do heinous things to other
Yeah,
people, because then like it's
it's
been
horrible.
twisted, it's been manipulated.
Hmm.
One thing that I actually was relating this to is it's like it feels a little bit like Israel has been bullying Palestine because they don't get along. So they're holding them hostage essentially in this place where it's like, no, you don't get to have your own like rights and privileges and like control over
Yeah,
just you and your life. And we're gonna basically make sure in the way that we control what you can have access to that you're gonna have a poor quality of life. Like they're being bullied. And it's yes, like Hamas did this horrible thing, but they are punishing. It's like a bad teacher who punishes the whole class because
yeah,
because some kid like a couple bad apples. And even if the people of like Palestine are like like finally Hamas did something, they also aren't the ones who acted on it. They are not the ones who did it. Like even if they're like yes, they want their freedom, because why wouldn't they? Like what life have you given them? And you're the one that's in
everyone will always
control.
fight for their freedom.
Exactly. So like I just think it can be true that Hamas bad, and it can also be true that Israel, you're being bad.
Hmm.
And like they're fucking humans, and I don't care about your religion or any of the religions. That is your thing and only your thing. Do it in your home and leave the rest of us out of it. But their
Yeah,
way of
unless,
leaving the rest of us out of it is just killing us because they're like, well, fine, get off of our earth.
but if you have one group of people that believe that God gave them this land, like they truly, truly believe God gave us this land, and then you have another group of people that's like, no, it gave us like
Well,
he gave us that
I've been
land.
living
So,
here already. So God can't come in and tell you, your imaginary thing can't come in and tell you that the place that I physically am is yours because of your belief.
but he's done it since the dawn of time.
I know it's been
Holy
a
wars have
lie
been
since the
fought
dawn
for.
of time. I
I'm
know.
mhm. War is big business.
Oh, yeah.
It it creates a lot of money for the people who create war. It
Yeah.
creates a lot of power.
Hmm.
It really is
Yeah.
just a big dick match. Like,
Yeah. You ready for me to go tin hattie on it then?
yeah, go for it.
Because, like, um, there was this person on TikTok who was just kind of talking about, like, how stupid are all of you that you're just like buying all of this? And they're like, Um,
Hmm.
so you're telling me that like in Israel, like most people have been in the army. Most people have. And we all know what like a skydiver is. We know that takes a little bit of time, right? So like as they saw that coming in, are you telling me that they didn't say this is happening right now and like really move on it immediately? That they just, they were allowed to wreak havoc the way they were coming in as slowly as they were. Do you believe this? And I'm like, I mean, I have no reason not to believe it because it's literally the only story I'm being told. But there is also the thought of like they do use war for money and they do need to keep us separated and they do need us to just continue to fight and bicker over the
Pick a side
dumbest
and fight
shit
for it.
while they just live above it and just continue to move the pawns in a way that helps them just to stay where they are with all their power and
Yep.
their money. Gay.
Oh, that wouldn't
That's
surprise me at all. Would not surprise me at all. I think war has less to do with what we think it does than we're
but it
being
doesn't.
sold.
Yeah, but too many
There's a,
innocent civilians are just
and
willingly sacrificed to their game.
yep. Uh, it that drives me bananas. I know I already said that, but just how many people having the thought of somebody saying, how many people can we really sacrifice to this? And then being okay
Yeah.
sending them out there. I had a friend just last night. She announced that her husband is dying of cancer and that it's most likely the cause of being around chemicals when he was in Afghanistan. And oh, just the impersonality of like, let's send these peons to fight each other to the death. Like, what
Mhm.
does that even prove? What do what could you possibly gain from that?
I don't
Just,
know, because my dad being in Vietnam and then being affected by Agent Orange, and I think like my whole family essentially being affected by Agent Orange in some real physical ways, but it also just the way that it altered our life and his ability to be, to granted, I'm really happy with how things worked out just because I do have a lot of like good memories and I got to be with my dad a lot. But I
yeah.
would have rather had a healthy dad who was happier and got to live a better life for himself. And like they act like they really love the veterans. Like my dad is super excited because he's gonna get a go on the Mercy flight or something. It's
Oh,
this
really?
flight, yeah, where they and I guess it's kind of nice. They take them and they do this whole thing. But the thing is, they're giving them a day flight to go parade them and be like, look how good we are to our veterans. But that's all they're getting. You get to take a day out of your life to go fly up here and be paraded so that everybody knows, look, we love our veterans. That's kind of what it feels like to me. But that's probably just me being super pessimistic or whatever. But
Well,
I'm
then
like,
let's
look at how
send
many
thousands of
homeless
them out there
veterans
to.
there are and send them like no, we're being used as pawns and those people there are just people and we're just people. And I think like the my hairdresser here,
Mhm.
I just had my hair trimmed yesterday and
Yeah.
she was like we had like a little back and forth and her main thing was she was like everybody thinks I'm Jewish, they want me to say something, and she's just like I she's like I'm not a Zionist, which what I kind of I understand to believe it's like a maybe a fundamentalist
Orthodox.
or like or yeah I guess,
Yeah.
but she was like I think that like this should not be going on, this is just people, like she's just kind of like doesn't feel for any of it, just like it's crazy, it's just crazy people
Hmm.
doing crazy things essentially. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's yeah, a lot of people do think
If we
that
took
way, but like, how do we stop anything? Like,
if we took war completely off the table somehow and just said, I mean, it's just an idea, but if it wasn't even an
excuse me.
option, there's still ways to figure this crap out, right?
Yeah, that's that way, I guess,
There's,
be if like women were in charge, maybe. I don't know. But right now, and I don't know, women might eventually come to weapons also if they all have such strongly held beliefs and think that they need to be the one in charge. Because we do have all the people up there, pricks measuring dicks, like you said, who are like the reason why war has to exist is that we have to continue to be ready to fight a war against the people who are like, if you do that, I'm gonna build a bomb. If you do, like they're kids playing war with real people in a sense, because like
yeah.
it's so stupid. It's such an unevolved mind that they have to control. Like, go live your life and do your own fucking thing and stop controlling everybody. Like, just fucking stop. Don't think you have the
Well, there
moral
needs to
high
be,
ground and you actually know. Like, outside of religion, I feel more moral than ever because I really feel
I
like
feel
I
the same
care.
way.
I feel like, and it's, I don't have like a, I own morality now or anything either. I'm just like, oh, wow, I don't feel as, I don't know. I just see morality as way more
Uh,
subjective. And like,
mhm.
like I grew up thinking coffee was immoral. So, and now I think
Yeah.
McDonald's is a little more immoral. Or, like
Yeah.
just because it is literal like cardboard being fed to us. Just kidding.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Well, and that's no, but that's a good point that like people are ever evolving and ever changing. And so of course we're going to have views that kind of like go against each other a little bit.
Mhm.
Like you've got I will pick a super random set of people. You have
Okay.
PETA and farmers, right?
Okay.
Both of them have good points. I mean, not PETA specifically, but like
But
people who
like
care
an
for
animal
animals.
type activist, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they both have good points. Do we want to care for living things? Yeah, we do. Do we want to cause things undue pain and strife? No, we do not.
Mhm.
And farmers too, like, hey, we need food. And
Well,
as much as some people hate it, a lot of our food comes from animals. It just does.
hmm
And there's places we can work together. There's ways we can meet in the middle. And I don't know.
hey,
There's
I'm
just
gonna plug a friend here because there are people who are doing things about that. Um,
yeah.
so check out Argyle Acres. They're in Utah, in northern Utah, and
Okay.
it's some friends of ours who they do like ethical farming. Like they're very intentional about everything they do, and they do care about the animals. They do care about things like that. And they
Yeah.
even do like little camps for like teaching kids and stuff like that. You could totally take your kids, they would love it. And it's not like super
Yeah.
far from you, but it's
That's
called
awesome.
Argyle Acres. And yeah, they I don't know, I think they're doing the best they can with that, like seeing the need for protein or animals, like to be used in a certain way, because just like the rest of the animal kingdom, like I don't know, I believe a lot of things are here to be utilized by other things that are here. But I
Mhm.
also believe
But
that
there's ethical ways we can do it. Yeah.
exactly, because the more animals I have and the more animals I interact with, the more I see their little personalities. And like
I
we literally
love
just
them.
got rid of a dog who like she never liked it here. Like I think it was something to do with her breed too, and she maybe needed a
In
pack
Florida.
or yeah, I don't know. Well, she's from Florida, but she had been being kept outside, and in our house she was being kept inside. But like she literally just was not thriving. She would not move. She would not get up. She wouldn't, and like we were like, has she been abused? But then like apparently her sister's the same way, and I think they were literally depressed. I don't know, and it's just like do I have a prisoner right now? So she went back with her family and then ended up getting rehomed, but thankfully to somebody who already had Great Pyrenees, which is the type of dog she is. And
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to be better for her. I think she just needed that. And they already called
You
and
know
talked to
what?
us. And what's up?
I've seen this anyway. I've seen the same kind of thing, same kind of breed. I think it's true. They have to be, not all of them, but sometimes they have to be working to
Yeah.
feel non-depressed.
Yeah. Well, and when we first got her, like, I mean, she was kind of that way, but like here she'd get up here and there. But then
Yeah.
Dipper died.
Yeah.
So maybe she experienced the weirdness of that too. And I don't know. But either way, it's just to say that I
Not a,
see like not the humanity in animals, but just that they're all like all living things. And like so I think that if we're doing it, we should just do it as humanely as possible instead of
Mhm.
just trying to do as much as possible.
Yeah.
And maybe we have
Well,
to eat a little less, and maybe that's okay, like
well, they're, I think as a general population, we are all just people who just want to live a good life,
yeah,
be good people and have enough for our families and enough to do a little extra. And that's
yeah.
it. I
However,
mean, if
sorry.
no,
Finish your fucking thought. I keep interrupting you.
what? No, you're fine. Um, no, we're this, all of us basically have the same goals. We just want to live a good and comfortable life. That's it.
Yeah.
And that means different things for different people. And we have to have leadership because we just do. I mean, otherwise it descends into chaos. We have to have leaders at the top. But for
Leaders
fuck's
that
sakes,
like
let's
they what
let's
they were
take war
supposed to
off the
be.
frickin'
Yeah.
table. Yeah, let's realize that we are civilized society now. We
I
are
think we need
like,
to get back to the peace pipes. Like the chiefs were onto something. And I'm telling you, like you don't have to do cannabis in your everyday life, but before you're gonna have a really important conversation, calm the fuck down with some cannabis. Don't have it be your first time,
yeah,
because the first time you have to learn how to like experience the high, like to not overthink the high
figure it out.
essentially. Well, pretty much because so many people will get anxious and stuff. And now I call that my transition. It's like me recognizing
Yeah.
the feeling of being high, but then not like obsessing over that, reminding myself that nobody's ever died from marijuana, that doesn't affect the respiratory system, things like that that just help me let my mind logically let go of those physical things and then just start
Mhm.
thinking. And it's just always a calmer like mind space. Like me and Anthony have some of the best conversations, definitely, when we've like both,
Yeah.
even though it totally affects him different, and he's like, yeah, but
There's no argument.
but it's really me just talking at him. But he's good about like if he has something to say, he'll say it. But he's definitely he's just
Well,
chilling.
well, there are much better ways to solve conflict. That's
Yeah. Oh,
We don't need to sacrifice peons to,
yeah. But you were
I'm
saying
a peon, but
all of us still want to, we just want to do good and have a good life and stuff like that. But
yeah, we
in
don't want
in
to
a
fight
lot of
each other.
ways, our current system, where it does keep people in certain, you have to recognize that the prison system keeps people in the prison system, and poverty like begets poverty, and that when you put people in desperate situations, even good people, like over there, how now it's really extreme. But when they just don't have the means to make it in like the normal civilized world, that's when they step outside it and do things that are not, morally right. But you're like, what option do you give them when you say this is life and it costs so much, and and you just figure it out. You expect everybody to just be able to stay completely morally on the high ground and never like slip. I feel like we literally create people because we just give them, I don't know, the world creates such scarcity. Yet we have these people
You
living
create
so high.
desperation.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
Anthony he saw something about the lottery being in billions or whatever. And he was like, "Oh man, what do I do? I wouldn't want anybody to know." And I'm like, not to be like tooting my horn, but I literally was like, we could do so much good. And there's so many really rich people that could be doing so much good, but it's like they want to further whatever they're doing, and they are the ones with the money, so it's all about them, when it's like the world is failing as we are right now. And having such disparities between like the low and the high, like just fucking give, like, you don't nobody can make like billions of dollars, because there's no amount of money per hour. If any, tell me a job that makes enough an hour, you know what I mean, to
Well,
make $1 billion. No, there literally isn't. Have you heard the thing
no,
about,
I know.
yeah.
Keep going. Have I heard the
No,
thing
no,
about?
that's all right. Say what you're gonna say.
Well, I was gonna say you have to be a little bit careful there because they
For
have
sure.
very few people have $1 billion in their bank account. A lot of it's like, I own this company that's worth billions of dollars, and that's that's a little bit different.
But that's the
I'm not
point, that
advocating
very
it,
few
but
people have billions. So little. Like even millionaires. Like I just saw a thing that was like, what's the percentage of millionaires in the USA? Like how many percent, what percentage do you think there are in the USA? And while it is like a million to like people, it's like, I don't even think it makes it, like, it's like basically 0%,
yeah,
because
it's
there
not
are
even a
so
whole percent.
few, because there's so few people who actually have all that money. So
Mhm.
that's actually the problem. You just highlighted the problem, that it's not that many people that
Well,
actually have that. So
yeah.
they literally are hoarding it, and they couldn't make that in their lifetime. And the rest of the world is struggling. And you couldn't even spend that in a lifetime. The world doesn't have the resources for you to spend that in a lifetime. You've become an evil genius. You've won, okay? Give it back. Or just get the fuck
Well,
off the
there
planet,
is
go to Mars, whatever.
in past history when the haves and the have-nots, my hands are uh,
I
my
got you.
husband kind of like pokes fun at me a little bit when I talk with my hands. He's like, "Really? I didn't know."
I think it's cute.
But
You're probably a little Italian. Anthony talks with his
um
hands. I like it.
but no, when the haves and the have-nots, when that gets wider and wider and wider and wider, there's always a breaking point. I mean, go look at the French Revolution. It was
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
becomes
And
unbearable.
how about, instead of a
And
breaking point, they do something different, because they're the only
well,
ones with the power and the money to do it. If I could
I
have it,
hate the us versus them.
me too. I hate it
I'm gonna
too.
bring it back together and put it as like it was the same kind of thing when they started the minimum wage. And eventually we had to come together and say, hey, people need to be able to live a comfortable life and be able to pay for the things that make life comfortable. I mean, that's just the way it needs to be. So yeah, I think I mean, we're getting into other things here, but
No, that's
like
okay. I think it
there
just
needs to
brings that,
be,
if we can agree on that, that we should also agree that there should be a maximum wage, that there should be a
I don't know
cap
about
on
that.
someone. I do.
I don't know.
But that's okay.
Well,
That could be
I
another
think
podcast. Let's
that
delve
could
into
be.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's room for both. I've heard it both ways. No, but I think it goes hand in hand. I think people are allowed to amass this mass amount of wealth because the money isn't going where it needs to go
Well,
to
like
the
you said,
people we
let's do
more
a
respect and more.
podcast on it, so that we can
Okay,
really
let's
delve
do it.
into it. And also, we're
Let's
basically out
do
of
it.
time, so
Oh, sorry.
no, that's okay.
Do, do,
Well,
do, do, do.
let's do that one for the next podcast, honestly, because I could keep going. So let's look into that.
Okay.
Okay, I love you,
Well,
and Lilas.
to sum up, yeah,
Yeah,
war
some
bad. That,
quickly, some
oh, just war bad. The
more
end.
bad. The end. Dun 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 dun. Dun.
All
Yep.
right. I love you. You're
I
amazing.
love you too. You too. Love you. Bye
Bye.
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 Subscribe. Okay. subscribe.
There's a subscribe up there.
Okay.
Like the button.
Okay.